This is a reading of Brenda's blog titled, Your En-masse Final Exam. Dear ones, instead of feeling hopeful, you feel heavy and burdened. Unnecessary feelings because we, of the universes, know the result of these current Earth events. But then, our knowledge does not necessarily help you through these troubled times. Your outer-directed activities were eliminated or dramatically shifted because of COVID. Now that COVID fears are reduced, you are affected by European events and finances. We prophesied that your personal and Earth structures would fail only to reemerge in a more loving framework. But now that you are enmeshed in that structural rebuild, you likely feel you cannot participate one more day. Of course, such is not true, for you experienced a great deal more when you were outer-directed, fear-driven humans. You feel fear more now because you have become super-sensitive to it. Fear is no longer your dominant emotion, and so every fear experience feels like fingernails on a chalkboard. And given the fear displayed now by many, including the media, you cannot help but feel terrified that your months or years of transition have been for naught. In previous Earth lives, you attempted to experience inner-directed love through religious orders or personal activities, all of which failed because those lives were preparations for this life, this transition. So it is you're having difficulty seeing beyond the fear promoted by a few outer-directed beings attempting to return you to the fear-fold. There is no need to punish yourself for your fear feelings. Most of your current fear relates to past events. Our information, and that of many channels, was that you would remove deeply hidden fears, and so you are. Just not as you expected. You probably thought you could not be traumatized by outer-directed activities at this point in your transition. Yet, until you do so en masse, you cannot release the pain from previous Earth attempts to shift from outer-directed to inner-directed. Some of you are reverting to memories of Atlantis or Lemuria. Other smaller group attempts might have been experienced as social work or in a monastery, nunnery, or something similar. It does not matter. This is your en-masse fear cleansing. Many of you question if your fear releases will ever end. We of the universes wish to inform you that this is the pre-celebratory event. You are releasing en-masse fears so deeply hidden you cannot express them by yourself. Enough are now awakened for this final fear exam. Even though it might not feel like such is true, you are passing this en-masse fear exam easily and almost effortlessly. Perhaps you wonder how such is possible, given that so many have just awakened. Do those just awakened not need to move through the same phases as you? Yes, but not necessarily in the same time frame or sequence. Because those now awakening are following your trailblazing paths. They do not have the same time structures as you. This is the en-masse final exam. Even though some participating in this final exam will return to personal fear factors, others will not. You volunteered to initiate this transition, so you prepared physically and mentally before this Earth life for your long transition slog through the mire. Those following you may have completed many of those steps in previous lives, or differently. It does not matter. All that matters is you are joining forces for this en-masse final exam. It is time to live in love, the personal inner cry of most Earth beings. Your efforts are earning you the most glorious gifts of all: peace and love. So be it. Amen.